So I was just sitting here talking to this incredible professional woman here, and I was just breaking down something to her how intriguing it is to see, especially women of color. And I feel that that's an issue when people tend to say a profession. Um, it becomes a kind of annoying because I know people don't even realize it's kind of an indirect diss. It's like seeing a black man and they're like, "Oh, so you never been to prison?" It's like,
Right.
oh, you know how to talk proper, or you can still build some street shit and still know how to analyze things and do things with numbers. So this one particular sister here, she caught my attention. Oh, Misha says, hello, Dominique. Hello, Nate.
Hey, hey.
Shout out to Misha. That she's one of my partners. That one of the hosts here on the show. And brought the amazing thing to my eye. We filmed a particular female airline pilot first, and I don't know if you know her, but we filmed her first about a month ago, and people were intrigued. It was exciting, and then it was like, you know what? I need different types. So she's a mother as well. It's like, believe it or not, all the three women that I've encountered already are married. So shout out to the Black sisters is married.
Hey.
Before I introduce this woman, I want to let it be known that she really is the most inspiring person. I'm not just saying this because I'm a fan of planes. I'm a fan of flying. I'm the guy that looks out the window and I like to see the thing go down and see the seatbelt signs go off. And I love all that because I love big machinery, especially man-made items, woman-made as well, right? So, and to my surprise, we chatted, man, and she's just a thorough, fun individual, and she brought out an essence of a connectable level of people that's able to identify. You know why? Because I always say people want to hear. It's like if I'm preaching, they want to be able to understand my language,
Right.
and this is the language we have to have. So, ladies and gentlemen, First Officer Mrs. Dominique Lennon. Now, she has a long name. It ain't gonna even fit me.
Yeah.
So I know when they say first officer, could you let them know what is a first officer?
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. So first officer is synonymous for co-pilot position. Although I want people to know that there is a distinction in my position, meaning that because I am first officer, I do assist the captain in his duties or her duties, but I am fully qualified to sit in the left seat. I'm sorry, as well, even though I sit in the right seat. So when I take my check ride to be qualified to fly this jet, I am fully qualified to sit in the left seat as a captain. I just do not have that distinction. Yeah, so the first officer position is truly a co-pilot position, but it's considered second in command behind the captain. So
now, people, from the perspective of passengers, we only know pilot and captain.
mm-hmm.
Right? There's only two terminologies we know. So because we know whoever's in that seat, that's what they do. But there are different levels.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Now,
that's correct.
What are the different ones as far as like in other words, a captain is the same captain that oversees the ship?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. So, excuse me. Specifically, the captain has the final authority over decision making. That's basically their role in the left seat. So things as far as the legality of paperwork, whether making decisions, things of that nature. More so, the legality of the flight, the aircraft, falls in the captain's hands as their final authority. Although I am a very, very important aspect to that, in that I also back up that decision. I'm responsible for the legality of the aircraft, of the flight, and decision making as well. So that's sort of the distinction. And really, in any airline program, they'll tell you as soon as you come to train as a first officer, we are training you to be a captain. You are a captain in training as a first officer. So it's not sit over there as, dumb and happy, truly. And I'll share a story with you when that time comes. Truly, we are very involved in the decision-making process and just as essential as the captain's role.
Yeah. Now the thing is, to be a captain, do you have to be flying an aircraft for a minimum amount of years, or you could still have that upgrade within a 5-year span, or does it matter?
Usually it's related to the time in the aircraft. So specifically, a lot of companies at my level, you're looking at least 1,000 hours of flying as a first officer in the right seat. So it's related to flight time and seniority. In my situation in particular, with COVID, it's been a very weird situation in that I met the time requirements to be a captain over a year ago. But however, due to COVID and the furloughs and things of that nature, I wasn't able to upgrade to the left seat because there was no movement. So it's a time requirement, but it's also seniority based, and it's also dependent upon movement in the company. So in order for me to get to the left seat, there has to be some movement from the top. Captains have to leave, slots have to become open, and then that transition happens in conjunction with the minimum flight time you need.
So now 1,000 hours, what would that be equivalent to as far as amount of trips? I mean, how many years does that take to get?
So good question. Really, 1,000 hours generally can take you from as little as maybe people like to say a year, but a year really, you got to be really out there working real hard. I say 18 months, 18 to 24 months is a good time frame that it takes to acquire 1,000 hours. And most people generally, the average about 18 months to get 1,000 hours. And that's flying a good schedule of at least 50, 65 hours a month, which is doable. Pre-COVID, that was doable. I came to the airline hitting the ground running. Try to fly as much as possible so that I can have the opportunity to upgrade. Got there.
Oh, wow.
And then COVID.
But he was able to take advantage of that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Upgrading to captain comes with pay increase. And then you get experience with what we call building pilot and command time. So there are absolutely advantages to upgrading. But yeah, generally speaking, about 18 months on average is about the time it takes to get the 1,000 hours.
Yeah. Now, is there such thing as a pilot that was training that was afraid of heights and overcomes
that? That's a good question. That's a good question. You will find most pilots are afraid of heights. I'm afraid of heights. Yeah. It's kind of weird feeling because if you think about it, for me, there's no fear in flying the aircraft at 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 feet because we have this big jet that we're in that encompasses that, feeling that you would have. It's different than if I was just standing on a ledge with no protection around me.
Right.
Looking out the window, I don't have that fear like, I'm going to fall out the sky. No, I'm in an aircraft that I can control and I'm not falling out the sky.
Down. Okay.
Absolutely. So it's a totally different feeling than, bungee jumping, or I was just in Daytona Beach last week and I rode on this ride. It's called a Vomatron, and it goes up and it swings you up in there. And I thought it was gonna be spooked. But I'm like, hey, this ain't nothing like that adrenaline rush of flying an airplane. I'm like, this what? Come on, are we done? Like, what's up? But it was great. It was great. I'm not gonna lie though, when I got to the top and they stopped us and I'm hanging there and I had no protection, I'm like, whoo, I'm ready to come down. But yeah, it's a lot of pilots do have that fear, but I would say not during flying.
Now, there's so many different questions I have for you. I want to know, I mean, I already did my research, but how did this all start? Like growing up in North Carolina, right?
Actually, I grew up in the Midwest, Jeffersonville, Indiana. Yeah, right across the bridge from Louisville, Kentucky. Mm-hmm.
Where in the Midwest?
Jeffersonville, Indiana.
I think it was what you call this shit? Oh, Indiana. Okay.
Indiana, Jeffersonville, Southern Indiana, right by 5 minutes from Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, how in the... So give us some history of how this... Okay, you grew up as a young woman in Indiana. Did you ever think like, listen, this is what I want to do, because we get, I want to be that. Was that on the agenda to actually be flying a plane, to be a pilot?
Yeah, that's
It was.
actually no, it was early on as a teenager, and yeah, so I'll share that story with you. Basically, I am a true advocate of early exposure. I am a product of early exposure. So flying for me was on the radar once I was exposed to that opportunity, and I was exposed to that opportunity at a young age at 14. So the story is that I had being from Louisville, which is a major hub for UPS Airlines. I grew up with UPS pilots. In particular, I had a captain that attended my church, and he invited me to an aviation camp at 14. I remember him asking me, "Hey, you want to go to aviation camp?" And I was like, "Aviation, what's that?" But I've always been one to step outside the box, try new things, try new different opportunities. So I said, "Sure, why not?" Went to the free camp, and it was absolutely amazing and life changing. The exposure that we got from being able to go into a control tower, a military base. We got a flight in a C-130 Hercules airplane. Flight lessons.
C-130. That's what they started on. Let me pull that up. Keep going.
No, we were actually visiting the Louisville Air National Guard, and that's the fleet that they had. So they allowed us to tour the Hercules, the C-130, and they took us in a little small flight in it, kind of around the local area. It was great. And again, this is like pre 9/11, so we can do a whole lot more than
a lot more, yeah, a lot more. Yeah.
Absolutely, the freedoms. So, like I said, be able to go into a control tower, etc. That was the catalyst to just a interest in aviation. So having that opportunity in that week, and let me preface this with this opportunity was a free event. It did require an essay requirement, so you had to receive entrance into the camp via selection process that encompassed writing the essay and being selected. But once you were in this is free. I mean, KFC was our sponsor, UPS, Organization of Black Airline Professionals, all of that. Provided this free camp for kids from 14 to 18 to attend for just exposure to aviation. So make a long story short, end of that week, I was fortunate enough to be voted the best cadet for that camp, and I was gifted a discovery flight at my local airport. It took me about a year to renew that, to actually go up and do that discovery flight. But I did. I took that opportunity. I was able to go up into a little small Cessna 172 around my airport.
The plane that Aaliyah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then it was history from there. And when I say history, I mean pivotal history, because in that next year I was 15, going into my sophomore year of high school, and I was informed of a program that my local high school had with a high school in Louisville. It was vocational school where I can get my private pilot's license. So I enrolled in that program, and then I spent my junior and senior year of high school getting my private pilot's license, and then the rest is history from there. So I went on to pursue my ratings at Purdue University, full academic ride there, and it was great. So I'm telling you just the fact that this Black man, reached out to me and said, "Do you want to go to aviation camp? Would you like to attend?"
Didn't even know what aviation even meant.
Didn't have a desire to. I knew nothing about aviation, nothing about flying, nothing. And especially at that age, I didn't know any women pilots.
Right.
Furthermore, Black women pilots. And what's crazy too is once I got into that program, my instructors were women pilots. Women pilots. Yes, women pilots. So that's my first interaction at 16, 17-year-old.
No Black woman, though, just white.
No, not at that time. No Black women. But I was getting into the industry. I was able to start to see more Black people. And then eventually Black women pilots as my career progressed and things like that. It's all about networking, as you know.
Yes.
But yeah, that small, do you want to go to camp? That early exposure is what sparked the interest and changed my life forever.
Talk about opportunity knocking at the door. Now, some people may feel like, well, that's the equivalent to a celebrity that was walking out in the street, like Tyson the model, like, hey, maybe you could model for me for polo.
Right.
It's a little more intense than that because, first and foremost, the opportunity not only was there, but it didn't even cost anything at that time. It's crazy.
Nope. Absolutely. The camp was completely, I'm telling you. And so, to give perspective, I'm sure you guys know a little bit about the demographics of the Louisville area.
Yes.
It is, socioeconomically, we have a lot of impoverished communities
Right.
and things of that nature. So the opportunity to have this community program gave children like me that may have not have had access to these types of things, opportunity to be able to explore a field that we may not have even thought was possible. So that's the blessing in that, and that is just great. And I truly am a testament to just opportunity that has turned into a dream.
Mm-hmm.
A dream.
Are they still giving that? Are those opportunities still available? Because I remember when I was in high school, the only opportunity I remember was them trying to have the NYPD, get us to be police officers at the age of 15 years old to fill out some application you got, or in the Army. That was like a big thing.
That's right.
Aviation, now come to think of it, well, they had like an Army thing, NJROTC. So I thought that was kind of like a thing that was preparing for the Navy or service. But I don't recall anything in regards to aviation, which is sad because it's kind of like demographically, where did that, like, was that an issue where there wasn't enough? Like, in other words, is there a minority factor where they have to grab these young Black students and get them into this? Was that about that?
Absolutely. The organization in particular, and I spoke on it earlier, that sponsored this program and still today does sponsor that program is the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals. OBAP is the name of that organization. OBAP. So yeah, that organization in particular's mission is to recruit minorities to the field. And then here specifically, the organization that I'm most proud of and most involved with is an organization called Sisters of the Skies. And that organization, that organization is more dear to my heart in that we're tailored to not just attracting minorities, but minority women into the field. And that's an upcoming organization that wasn't in existence when I started, but is now, and I'm very passionate about that. So yeah.
Now, is it more? How long have they been pretty much inactive? Because that's probably something I don't even think people even know that even exists. Which is
no, but we making money moves, okay?
Yeah.
And when I say money moves, we just awarded a young female. She was awarded a $50,000 scholarship from Boeing to complete her flight training. Yeah, she was on the Kelly flight training. Boeing. Yes, the Boeing, the aircraft manufacturer, Boeing. She was just awarded a scholarship to complete flight training. We secure monies from lots of different organizations, airline organizations, etc. The Sisters of Skies organization has been, it was founded about 4 or 5 years ago from 2 other Black female pilots. But here, I would say over the last maybe about 4 years, our network has expanded, and the opportunities that we're bringing to these young women. We just completed our scholarship program here. We awarded some ladies with some scholarship monies for flight training. So yeah,
I have behind a lot of that because an organization like that, once they see that those opportunities are coming through your organization, that will encourage. Because I think a lot of women and male are very afraid of this. They don't even think that this is possible. That they'll go to school. They'll go to college for whatever else, but they won't necessarily go to flight training. And I want you to, let them know, is the fear understood and is it common that here now it's like, okay, we see these identified faces, and then we can see Sisters of the Skies. What is more or less the goal of Sisters of the Skies that they're trying to alleviate when it comes to how do I say the fear? Like, what is the goal that you guys are trying to like push everybody past, that you guys can become whatever you want to be in this field of aviation?
Sure. So I should state that I think the issue is for our people in general is that it's not necessarily a fear, it's a lack of knowledge. Those are these opportunities in particular to be a pilot and to fly is purely based upon an opportunity that was given to us. And all of the women in this organization will share the same story, that it literally took someone saying, hey, would you be interested in that? So the mission of Sisters of the Skies is truly to allow people to know that this is an option. You have an opportunity to pursue flight training if that's what you want. And if this is what you would like to do, here are the resources we have available. We have mentorship programs. So we team you up with professional airline pilots. We're in the process now of mentor matching. One of the mentors this year, my second year, mentoring a group of ladies that are in flight training. So the mission is truly through outreach, philanthropy, service, mentorships, to show young women that if you want to pursue this dream, you can do this. And we have the resources available for you to do so.
This is a show. I'm actually going to pull up the website now and show people that this actually exists.
Yeah, and like I said, we've received national attention. Yeah, can you point me out? You see me? A big old Kool-Aid smile in the back. I'm in the back. Yep. That's me.
Same word.
Big Kool-Aid smile.
Wow, this is impressive.
What's so crazy about that is that was actually my birthday weekend. I was in Atlanta. I was stupid geek to be with all these phenomenal women. And in particular, this banquet is an annual scholarship banquet that we host every year. Right. But it is based upon the commemorative celebration of the first all-Black female flight crew that happened, I guess, 12 years ago now. This was in 2018, so 10 years ago. We were celebrating that milestone. But yeah, when I tell you, like, I'm so passionate about this organization, in particular, this organization is what allowed me to transition to be an airline pilot. Because like I said, I started flying when I was a teenager, but I kind of stayed in like that flight instructor role. I never thought about being an airline pilot. I didn't really want to be an airline pilot. I was busy having children and life and family. And one of the founders here, I remember reaching out to her because I saw her on a PBS special where they were highlighting women pioneers. She's in this uniform. She, the only Black lady on this special. There she is, Miss Nia Long. And I remember looking her up on Facebook, and I slid in the DMs, and I was like, so right here, Miss Nia, the CEO, slid in the DMs, and I was like, hey, can I chat with you?
I see her on Google too.
Yeah, can I chat with you? And she's a mother as well. And she was like, you want to do this? Let's do it. Let me help you get ready. You want to be an airline pilot? Let's do it. So yeah, that's all of these ladies is when I say
all these sisters is doing this.
Dope sisters, yes. These are my sisters, okay? Yeah.
I would love to have everybody here on a real big. But we're gonna wait till the weather gets a little warm again.
We can do that. We can do, like I said, we've been featured on ABC, Kelly Clarkson, so Steve Harvey show. Steve Harvey had us on.
I see Steve Harvey had, yes.
Yeah. I mean, truly, when I tell you, like, this organization's taking off, the exposure that we're getting is really truly God sent, and it's gonna continue to blow up, and I'm just proud to be a part.
Well, that's the thing too. It's always the thing because we were always worried about. I think the thing is, with our community, we are afraid to ask another Black person, a Black woman, and this is real. Like, let's just put it out as if it is. Like granted, if a Black woman sees another female pilot and she's non-Black, she's quicker to ask her some information versus a black woman. For example, coming off the plane, right? Now, you stand at that position, that amazing position when everybody's leaving the plane and you see everybody. I love that part, by the way.
Yes. That's my favorite part.
And they look at you. How often do they look at you and they want to ask a question, but they don't?
Yeah.
How often is that? Like, why is that such a barrier among black women where we just, I don't know. I mean, I know it's with us as black men, but I see another brother pushing the plane. I'm like, man, that was a good job, this, that, and third, and we'll run with it. But do you feel that there's more of that kind of shyness for another black woman? I mean, clearly this organization doesn't promote that, but they promote unity. But do you feel that that's the pickup where people pick up when they see you?
I would say that it's evolving. I would say that it's getting better. When I became an airline pilot almost 3 years ago, yeah, I mean, I would have some people that I could see it in their eyes that they wanted to maybe ask me, like, what's your journey? Or they were too afraid to say proud of you, sister, out loud. So I get a little wink or I get a little head nod, stuff like that. But our racial climate is changing and has been changing. And I'll tell you this, here, especially within the last year, I feel like more people, white and black, are proud to congratulate me when they see me there. Oh, I got a sister on my flight. Good job, sister. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, we're the military. No, ma'am. But okay, well, good. And can I take a picture? I get a picture every day. I get a picture request every day, without a doubt. Can I take a picture? I'll be in, the restroom real quick in the terminal. Oh my God, you a pilot? Oh, can I? I'm telling you.
Come out the restroom and they're waiting for you.
I'm telling you, everywhere. So that climate has changed a lot. But yeah, is it still out there? Absolutely. I feel that there are some people that still have a hesitancy in, acknowledging the fact that I am up there. But you know what? It's really not about that. I feel like I want my presence to be enough.
Yes.
I just want my presence to be enough. You see me up there. You see me. You see me up there. I don't have to speak a word. I don't have to, tell you that I'm just as qualified as my. I don't have to take my presence alone. I really take pride in that. And when I put on this uniform every day, I want my presence alone to speak for my experience, for my passion. So that I take pride in. You don't even have to ask me what my journey is. I'll gladly tell you. But just the fact that I'm here in uniform and now,
and you're approachable. You know what I mean? It's like
that speaks volumes.
Yeah, I think sometimes we earn our own way, and it's like you're walking down this aisle. I just finished this journey, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a position where somebody just won't even say thank you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just today. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, just today, I think we were coming into Charlotte from, I don't remember where we went today. Things all blend together after a day. Just today, I'm standing. Personally, what I like to do, especially if it's my leg, my landing, I like to always make sure that I'm at the front of the flight deck, thanking people for flying with us and, wishing them a good day. But yeah, absolutely. Have people that don't speak, won't make eye contact, different things of that nature. It used to buy. I'm like, what am I doing? It used to get to me, but like I said, listen, I'm standing right here in the flight deck. My presence alone, like I don't owe anyone an explanation. My presence alone, that I'm right here. I just took you from point A to point B safely, and my landing was butter. And the flight was smooth.
That led.
Hey, I don't have to say a thing. Thank you for flying with us. So and even I can admit too, I don't have always good landings. So even the bad landings, I'm not ashamed to stand up there and say thank you either. But
you're required to do that though, right? Are you required to do that?
No.
Oh, seriously?
Wow. It is not a requirement. It is not a requirement. As a matter of fact, there's a handful of people that just stay in the flight deck. They don't necessarily want to
You don't even
have
come
an
out.
interaction.
Yeah, yeah.
No, yeah, wait till the passengers are out, get their bags, and go on to the next flight, etc., etc. Yeah, I mean, there aren't a lot of people that do that, but personally, I again, I want you to see, I'm here. I'm
It
here.
must be an incredible feeling for you to get up and stand there to see that you just landed this aircraft.
Absolutely.
And all these people that was. I mean, can that be surreal? Also, like in other words, is it good that y'all see that before you fly, or they don't want you to realize you got 300 people on this board and go crazy? Like, you're supposed to know how many people's on the flight.
Oh, absolutely. We know absolutely how many people's on the flight. That's yeah. We have to know that. In particular for our weight and balance and
Yeah.
performance numbers. But in particular, if we have an emergency and we have to state how many souls are on board, yeah, we have to know that information. I'll tell you this. It took me. There are times. It took me about a year and a half to realize that. Oh my gosh, I have people in the back. Because yes, you see them boarding.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're so inundated with the work that you're doing to prepare for the flight.
Yeah.
By the time you get done and all that stuff, the doors close, you're taking off, and you're not really thinking, okay, I got these people in the back. So it took about a year and a half for me to be like, oh,
I could
have I do have people in the back.
Hold the plane.
Yeah. I do have to, but but more so now I am more cognizant of the people in the back. Just for me personally, as a captain in training, being able to connect with these passengers, knowing where they're coming from, seeing the kids, giving out little kitty wings, etc., etc. So that type of connection is important to me, but I can only speak for me. So, yeah.
Scales. Now, you said there's like a weight distribution now. Do y'all have a scale on the plane to know exactly? Like, you can't fly a car in there, right?
No. My aircraft, no. Maybe the bigger aircraft. So basically, we don't have scales, but what we do is we use what we call average weights for the different amount of bags. So a small bag weight is an average weight of this amount. A big bag is this amount. And then we count the number of bags that we have according to different sizes, and then they are distributed within the different cargo bins, and that's how we're able to make sure that our plane is properly balanced, so that we can get the correct performance numbers. So,
how many bags is roughly on there? Like 200-300 bags?
Say it again.
How many bags roughly is usually on the average flight?
So I fly a smaller aircraft. So
right.
My aircraft in the cargo bay in the front, typically we have about 20-ish or so bags. It just depends on how many people are flying.
Under the check-in, that's the
one. Yeah. And then the back cargo could be 30, 40 bags. It just really depends. It's interesting, in particular when we do some of the flights into like these military towns. You get big heavy bags from the guys carrying their military.
Yeah.
Big heavy bags and things of that nature. Yeah. We carry organs, dry goods, different things like that. Yeah, dangerous goods, I should say. So dry ice and things of that nature. Yeah, and we have limitations.
Deceased.
Not on their aircraft, but yeah, some aircraft, yes, they do bring. I've seen plenty, especially operating in and out of DC, plenty of times where I've pulled up and kind of looked a couple gates down, and you see the police out there in the military, and you see caskets come off, and bringing our military, military people back home. So yeah, it's interesting.
This is now. The thing is now when you how many passengers are usually on the flight of this particular one? Now, what is the name of the aircraft again?
I fly a CRJ 7900. It's a Canadair regional jet, so it's made in Canada. Regional jet. There's a 700 variant that carries 67, 65, or 67 people, or the 900 model carries 76 passengers. So in those we have 12 people that are in first class, and then the rest of it's we have basic economy and then economy. So The biggest aircraft I fly carries 76 people. So it's a CRJ. Yep, 7 or 900. Yeah,
So
exactly.
you literally fly this one here.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know why they take forever to load, but I guess they want to be funny here. But so the
Yeah.
CRJ, there it goes. So the CRJ, that's what you fly. Right?
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. So,
It's tough.
you're in the now we don't know the difference because we watch all these TV shows, we watch Airplane, we watch a whole bunch of these phenomenons. So that you said the right side is here. That's the side that you're on, right?
That's correct. Correct.
And the left side is here. So this is the thing. There's so many different questions people want to know here. So now, what happens if? And I asked this. Now, do you know? Do you? By the way, do you know Dawn Cook as far as a pilot?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
I interviewed her a month ago.
Oh, word. Okay. All right.
Yes,
Yes. Yes, I do.
yes.
Yep.
Dawn
Yeah.
Dawn
She's
was
hey.
here a month ago.
She's
And,
doing the thing too. Mommy as
yeah.
well. Yeah. Yeah. She's phenomenal.
So and I knew that you had to know each other because she stressed that hey, there's not a lot of us here.
That's right.
And I was like, I wait till because you don't want to ask somebody if they know somebody. Like, yeah, I know her. Shit, she don't want to
Right.
be playing on some
Right.
we didn't know, but that's dope. So now I asked her. So now what happens is with this, roughly, how much is this? How heavy is this aircraft? Roughly
About 80,000 pounds.
80,000
Yeah.
pounds.
At its heaviest. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because I mean, not only are we moving a multi-million-dollar piece of metal through the air at 500 miles per hour or more, is heavy. I'm like, today is arm day. No, it's about 80,000 pounds total.
80,000. Now
Yeah.
80,000. So you're now at the highest height. This right here, just from what you're looking at, knowing
Yeah.
every day. How high is this roughly? Is that above the clouds, or is that coming in between it?
We're probably looking at maybe about 30,000 feet. This aircraft in particular is certified to go up to as high as 41,000 feet.
Okay.
In the air. So yeah, that I would say this picture looks to be about somewhere in the maybe 30s. Yeah, 30,000 feet in the air.
So now what happens if you guys go 50,000? Is it like police that give you a ticket for that stuff like that?
we can't go above 41,000. The aircraft just will not produce enough engine thrust to be able to go that high. So yeah, that's why they have what we call service ceilings, max altitudes that the aircraft can fly safely. So yeah.
Wow. Okay, so we need to know these controls. I mean,
Oh yeah.
everybody's joining in right now. You're here with the most amazing exclusive. I mean, we have number 2 of the sisters. We have a sister that was shooting next week. Actually, that's in South Africa, which is amazing.
Awesome.
So somehow we're gonna link everybody here together. But when you start this aircraft, right? Is there a day that you come out and be like, yeah, nobody clean my damn thing. This thing is dirty. Like, what happens? Like, what happens when you walk into the aircraft? Is there times when you walk into the cockpit and you don't like the way things are, or somebody probably didn't wash properly? Like, how do you deal with all that from the beginning of walking onto this aircraft when we see you with your briefcases?
Yeah. So for me, and for pilots in general, we usually have a flow or procedures that we do to get ready for the flight. So after we've stowed our bags in the proper places, we get into our seats. And I know for me, one of the first things I do, especially now, not that I didn't do it before COVID, because I'm kind of like, I know about this, but yeah, they provide us with sanitation, not sanitary wipes, Lord. Right. Lord today, sanitation wipes. Sanitation wipes to clean down the flight deck, the controls, right, and things of that nature. So I take the time to do that. Then I get my headset out, my iPad out, and then I start setting up for the flight. And then usually during our preparation to prepare for the flight. We make sure the controls are where they need to be. There's no maintenance issues that need to be addressed. So it's part of our kind of like pre-flight procedures that we do. But yeah, I all the airplanes are dirty. I'll be honest. I mean, we do have cleaners that come in at night and clean the aircraft.
Is there a special cleaner that goes there because obviously because of the controls and stuff like that, or it's the same cleaner that cleans the plane?
No, so they do have people that clean the back. I'm not sure if they're the same people. I would want to say no.
Right.
That they would have to have some type of authorization to be able to enter the flight deck, or a different type of training. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I do know it was funny. Just a couple days ago, I came in and on my seat they left a spray bottle with alcohol and like it was like some type of solution that they use to clean the flight deck. So I knew they was in there.
Bottle alcohol, ladies and gentlemen. They said,
yeah, right? Yeah. There we go.
Why didn't leave a spit of scotch there?
Clean and spray. Thank you for that specification. But yeah, they left some clean and spray. So yeah, they do come in, clean the aircraft, and then in particular now, especially dealing with COVID, the procedures have been bumped up quite a bit in that they're really taking the time to more thoroughly clean the aircraft for passenger use. So, yeah.
Well, it's interesting. So the shout out to Twerk Nation, and we have a lot of people. Well, I know everybody's like, "Oh, you're early." Yeah, we're here early because she got some major things to do, and she's flying very, very precious cargo.
Yes.
The thing is now, you break that. Your husband, shout out to your husband. Is your husband actually a pilot, or he doesn't have anything to do with aviation?
No, he has nothing to do with aviation at all, and I actually love it that way. Love it that way. No, he's not involved in aviation. However, I say that he has been involved in aviation since the beginning. He's my college sweetheart. When I met him, I was in flight training. So he met me as a pilot already. And he's been here supporting the journey from day one. So yes, absolutely. Thank you for the shout out. Shout out to hubby.
Definitely. Shout out to the husband, man. You know what? Because one thing that I've learned is a lot of sisters out here, and they're really trying to, a lot of women that follow me, and they really want to get them a good man, it seems like so far, I haven't shot a single woman that worked in aviation yet.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to be in families and hubbied up. But, I guess that would be the question. Are there any, without naming them, are there any single female airplane pilots out there? Because I ask this because a lot of these guys, they're like going across to these seas, and I don't see how a man could get off that plane and not shoot a shot to one of these single sisters.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, there's tons of single women in the industry. It's funny because when people think about this industry, and this is just a stigma that's attached with it. In particular, the male pilots carry a stigma of having multiple wives, affairs, things of that nature.
Families too,
yeah, absolutely. Wife at home, girlfriend at work. That stigma is prominent in the industry. However, there are just as many happily married pilots out there, women and men, that are in the industry. But to answer your question specifically, yeah, there are tons of single women pilots. So, if y'all interested, shoot your shot. You shoot it.
Shot, fellas. I don't understand. Yes. I just don't get it, because that is the thing. It's like, there's so many of these situations where people are complaining and this, that, and the third, and there's no good women out here. I'm like, I don't understand how y'all going to these different countries. Just my opinion. You're going to these different countries, chasing these Latin sisters. You got black sisters flying you to the country. You on a plane with her. She flew you there. How dare you? I don't even. That shit is just crazy to me. So, I always tell people there's certain type of careers that I get giddy with. I don't want the woman to think this it's because she's sweeping floors. Hey, Nate, why you don't interview us? No, that's not true.
No.
It's just that when I have a love for a certain machinery, and two of the big things that I love is planes, trains, and automobiles, literally in that order.
Awesome.
You know, I love trains. Anybody that's driving a locomotive diesel or they pushing an Amtrak diesel and she's a female, please have them holler at me immediately. And if she's shooting out of, if she's working out of Newark, New Jersey, even better. I'll come over there with the camera. Me and Dominic put this on a professional camera soon because you're about to see this trilogy of this amazing mode of trains, planes, trains, automobiles, right? So we got planes, the woman that pushing the trains, and the woman that's pushing the automobiles. And we talk about women that's pushing some. We ain't talking about just driving a cheap 500 class Mercedes down the block. We talking women that drivers for whatever they do. Because I want y'all to have more of a look. Now listen, she's clearly a married woman, but the mode of just understanding that sisters just don't get this recognition. Behind the scenes, on the scenes, and it's frustrating to me. So that's why I want to ask that now. Has there ever been a situation in the past that you've seen, without naming anything, a male pilot, get caught out there like he walked off the plane and the wife was like, "Oh, you dirty bastard!" Like, like I'm pretty, because every job got their drama.
Absolutely.
I could only imagine. I'm pretty sure. I mean, listen, a man's at a candy store. Listen, if a man is working as a stewardess, right, on the plane, he's in a candy store. He's meeting everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the women are probably wanting to meet him too, because they could also fly around the world, et cetera, et cetera. Is that a thing that people tend to take advantage? And do you happen to get the typical, instead of somebody looking at your profession, they go straight to a buddy pass? How do you deal with that?
I think I've dealt with, so you asked a lot of a good question. To answer your first question about have I experienced like my captain or something dealing with like his wife or something.
Yeah.
I have not seen it in the terminal, but I've seen it we sitting in the flight deck. We got the parking brake part, and wife is blowing them up, and I've seen some little drama in that regard. But never seen that happen actually outside the airport. However, I do have a story about a year ago. Didn't happen to me personally, but there was an upset spouse that was upset with her husband and placed a bomb threat on his aircraft. Caused a security issue. Yeah. So we have those instances. You get disgruntled, spouses and partners, and they do crazy things like that. And thankfully that's
played out.
Yeah, thankfully, nothing ever turned out of that. But yeah, you have those instances where people will do things like that just to get things riled up. But in regards to people respecting my travel benefits and things of that nature, when I first started, it was a little annoying. Sometimes people were like, you got any discounts? Can you hook me up with this, blah, blah, blah. And I try to tell people, like, yes, being in the industry is great. We do have the opportunity to be able to fly anywhere that we want, but it comes with a price. And when I say with a price, meaning we get the opportunity to do that, but on what we call a standby basis. Meaning, we may or may not get on the airplane if there's not enough seats for us to accommodate us. So that in itself can be stressful, especially if you really need to be somewhere. Yes, we can take advantage of that, but if you really need to be somewhere, you buy a ticket. And then also too, our benefits are limited in who we can share them with. So our immediate family does get the opportunity to fly the same status as we do, standby, and it discounted tickets. But cousin, auntie, all that, I'm like, hey, I wish I could help you all, but those benefits are not extended to you all.
But the husband gets those benefits.
Yeah, husband, children, mom, dad, step parents, if that's the case. They get those benefits. Your immediate family, and including your parents, they get to take advantage of those benefits. But anything outside of that, if you want someone to use those benefits, then yes, you can afford them a buddy pass.
Right.
But again, two things. One, you're flying standby. and two, you're at the light. Shout out to Rob Machado, or Chief.
Is that
saw
true?
that comment.
Is that him?
Say that again.
Ralph Private Pilot Handbook? That's really
Yeah,
a handbook?
Rob Machado, the Private Pilot Handbook. I'll speak to that just in just a second. I just saw
Oh,
that, caught my attention. I'm like, man, he's bringing it back to the beginning days. But to speak on the buddy passes, you're flying standby, and two, you're flying at the like lowest, absolute lowest status possible. So if you are going to get on, you're one of the last people to get on, and you do have to pay a percentage to use a small percentage to use that. And to be honest, sometimes you can find a ticket, a confirmed seat ticket cheaper. So
yeah,
I'm like, you don't want to. Yeah, I mean,
I heard about that. Yeah, because they. Well, is that the same thing? Because a friend of mine works for JetBlue, but he's not a pilot. Do they get the same privileges with a buddy pass? The buddy pass, regardless.
Yeah, buddy pass is a buddy pass. Yeah, if you're an employee, you have the option of receiving buddy passes, then yeah, you can absolutely use them. Or you can let whoever you want use them.
Wow.
And then have that access. But I'll tell you this, like, not only are buddy passes kind of like not all that great, you have to be very careful who you give them to, because they are a representation of you at an airline. Yes. I just a few months ago, I'm telling you, we're taking a 30-minute flight from Charlotte to I think maybe Wilmington, North Carolina. Some lady on a buddy pass, representing an employee of some sort, didn't want to comply with like putting her handbag up, started a commotion with the flight attendant, and gets kicked off the airplane. My airplane, we had to turn around, come all the way back to the gate. It was ugly.
What?
And it was. I'm talking about number one for takeoff. We cleared for takeoff.
What was there?
Yes, yeah. We're on my airplane. We turned around. It's not too long ago. We had to turn around because at that point it becomes a safety issue. If you can't listen to instructions, our flight attendants in the back, shout out to the flight attendants because they are an essential.
I gotta interview some flight attendants too. I don't want to definitely appreciate you.
They are an essential piece of the operation. When we say crew, I mean it. We are. I cannot do my job without them. So shout out to them. But yeah, in particular, this lady on the buddy pass, she didn't want to comply with the flight attendant's instructions. So if you don't want to comply in the ground, if we have emergency, how do I know? Or how do they know that you're going to comply in the air? So it becomes a safety factor. So yeah, the captain's like, oh no, we're not doing this today. No. So we turned all the way around. Number one for takeoff, mind you. It's in Charlotte Airport, which is.
I was about to literally let loose.
Turned around, parked the airplane at the gate, and she was off there. And
how long does the process take to do all that? How long does the process take for her to get off it and to go back on?
It ended up being almost an hour delay. So by the time we taxied all the way back to the gate, at that point we have to call customer service representatives, managers, etc. They have to document the story. We have to talk to dispatch, get new fuel numbers. It's a lengthy. It's like really. So a little 30-minute flight, we could have been there and back. In the time that it took to kick her off the aircraft.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but unfortunately, she messed up that opportunity for whoever gave her that buddy pass. So you'll hear a lot of people's like, "Nah, I don't give out buddy
I noticed that. Yeah, it's funny because one of my boys, he was kind of funny one time because he's like, I don't know, he was stalling. This is before before the COVID situation, but I stopped asking him. And I think because it was at the time where it was like, yo, we really trying to, like, yo, let me know when you're ready to go somewhere. We could definitely do something. I'm like, all right, so yeah, let's do something.
Yeah.
But he was like, he gets a certain amount of month. I said, listen, it ain't worth it. I was finding cheap stuff online, so I didn't want to give the situation. Because listen, we all like a little bit of seniority, but come on now. I don't want to be in a position and somebody doesn't necessarily, you don't want to mess up a privilege.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. If there's hesitancy from people giving out buddy passes for a reason, I'm telling you, because, any little thing, non-compliance, carrying too many bags, pushing the limits, bothering the gate agents. I mean, they can write you up and then, you can have your travel passes revoked, and that's just not a risk that most people are willing to take. But real quick, back to that comment real quick. I think it was Chief Truck a lot. Shout out to you for getting that Rob Machado Private Pilot Handbook. That is a gym. If you are in flight training right now,
it is a gym right there.
that's a gym. That's some good knowledge in there. Rob Machado is the man. I'm friends with him on Facebook. He's an aviation guru. And yeah,
Wow.
that was actually one of the first one of the first literature that I received in my private pilot ground school.
Wow. So somebody is an aviation heavy right here. This person.
Absolutely. He's like, I don't know if you ever heard of Martha and John King, but they they do all the like aviation. They're
on that level. Now the person that did this comment, the chief truck a lot, it is safe to say that he's an aviation clearly. The person that made the comment.
Yeah, if he has this private pilot handbook, it sounds to me like he's in flight training. I don't know this gentleman, but yeah, it sounds like he's in private pilot ground training or flight training, and if so, you got a good piece of literature, read up on it, know it, and you're in good hands. Yeah, shout out to Rob.
I gotta check that out. Rob Machado. Somebody wants to know. TP wants to know: is the racism basically in the industry similar to the military?
Yeah, so good question. I don't have a military background, so I can't speak to what goes on in the military, although we've all heard stories. Here recently, you've heard of some stories of the Air Force in particular addressing these issues, Navy, etc. So I can't speak to the military side. Is there racism in the industry? Racist? Absolutely.
No question about it.
No question about it.
Blatant stuff?
No, I wouldn't say it's blatant.
But you, it's more or less like, come on, like you see.
It's more like implicit bias. You're dealing with people that culturally don't understand why we support Black Lives Matter, or don't understand how we had to get it from the mud to get to where we at now. Don't understand the background, etc. So I would say it's more so related to like implicit bias. But yeah, I feel like there's racism and racist in every industry. So yeah, but that's a good question.
Has there ever been a situation where you literally like came into the cockpit, you got a different partner? I mean, it's not like y'all deal with the same partner every day. It's different every day.
Well, not every day. It's usually different every trip that we have, and a trip can consist of 2 days to 4 days. In my particular situation, but yeah, it's usually different crew members.
And has there ever been a thing where it was like attitude?
In my case, I think for me, I'm a very personable person, so I feel like I haven't really had an opportunity to experience racism directly.
Right.
Biases, yes. But for me, I'm not there to make friends. I absolutely want to enjoy my crew members and want to enjoy who I'm flying with. And usually if it's someone that I kind of got a side eye, like, ooh, this guy, may not kind of respect me. Again, like I told you, I'll let my work ethic, I'll let my professionalism, my flying skills speak for itself. I don't have anything.
I think you're prepared for that, though. I think that's just a natural thing with your personality.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's just me. If you saw my live today, my videos today, when you fly with me, you gonna have fun. I don't care if you don't. It's funny. The one of the flight attendants that fly with me today, she's real quiet,
right?
Barely talk. But if you saw today, she's dancing in the video. I'm like, what? Yeah, like I try to bring that.
I didn't even get a notification for that.
Oh yeah, today early this morning, 4:00 this morning. Yeah, yeah, we had a little party today. We was rocking out. We had a little waka flocka going on, and
I see the video.
I see. Yeah. So I'm sorry, I didn't go live. I'm sorry, I had some videos.
Right.
But yeah. So just kind of doing our pre-flight duties today. We just turning up. Again, carrying that energy, setting the tone.
You had her doing this after the flight when y'all landed, or before?
No, this is before. So this is before boarding. Everyone was getting ready and doing our, like I said, pre-flight duties, and we had the music going, and she's dancing, and I'm like, that's what it's about. Like we come in here to do our job, and two, to if you can have fun, that's awesome. And so like I try to bring that energy everywhere that I go. So in every flight that I come to. So when I say that I really haven't had that issue with dealing with racism and bias, yes, I know that it's there. Yes, I can acknowledge it. But do I feed into that? No, I don't. Because guess what? At the end of the day, we're both pilots. And I'm speaking to me and my captain. We're both pilots. And at the end of the day, if I can't find anything else to talk about, I know I can talk about flying. I know I can talk about, the job that we're doing. I can always find just something to relate to. You got dogs at home, you got kids, et cetera, et cetera. So,
right.
Yeah. And that's just me.
You break that silence.
Absolutely. That's just me. So, yeah, so I haven't had too much of an issue with that. And I take pride in it. I just think that's my personality.
Yeah, you know what? We need more of that. That's something that's lacking these days. Associate Minister says, much love and respect for her professional attitude, professional energy, professional pride color means nothing. It's a work ethic that counts.
That's right.
Totally agreed. Twerp X Nation says the aviation bug is real. My exposure was getting on my first flight to basic training for USAF. After 6 years of air traffic control, I'm eager to use my G bill for flight training.
Shout out to the controllers. Much respect to you. One, thank you for your service, Twerp X Nation. Thank you for your service. Number two, thank you for being air traffic controller. Again, you are a huge part of the puzzle as well. So thank you for that time. And take advantage of that GI Bill. There's a lot of people, ex-military, current military.
That comes from the military, right?
Yeah, that's a military. Yeah, that's a military thing. That have an opportunity to use that. Use it. Do your research first, because just from my background of working with in universities and with students, the GI Bill has some limitations to it as far as like what flight schools that you can use it at. So make sure you do your research, pick a great flight school, and get those ratings.
Now, Short says something else also. Says, I hope to be as great as you one day. Although I'm a man, I have a nice niece who's smart as a whip, and I'll be proud to see her become a sister of the sky someday. Keep inspiring us. Now, thank you for that donation. I appreciate it.
Salute. Thank you. Salute.
Oh, wow. That's that little energy you know what I mean? That's what we need.
That's right.
Because I tell her, it's like I have to endure the crowd as well. Somebody did say they don't feel that the black YouTube algorithm is the same for blacks as it is. Yeah, but I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take the same energy I did for first officer here. If that's the case, then that's the case. But you know what? I don't even trip on that because they can't all my videos being wild. Now listen, I remember I told Dawn. I remember Dawn took a little while to do an interview with me. I said, Dawn, listen, I do interviews all types of ways. If you see me spazzing in my truck, I don't talk like that. He started cracking up. I said, I know you and your husband, because her husband is actually a pilot also.
He is a pilot. Yep, he is a pilot.
And she's like, no, Native. I said, nah. It was like she started cracking up. I said, you probably see some of my crazy videos, but doing these exclusives is a whole different animal. So shout out to all the hubbies that if they watch me, every video is fixed for that video, and this is something that I have to clearly let people know what's going on. Beast Mode says, still is very educational. Shout out to Nate and the Black Queen, and that sounds great to hear the Black Queen. And you know what? I tell people you're gonna look at planes different now. When you pass by Newark Airport or Kennedy Airport or wherever you are, I mean, I'm only saying where I live. If you're JFK or we have LaGuardia. Airport, you see the planes in the sky, you're gonna look at it different right now because you're gonna be like, damn, don't be pushing that.
That's right. Thank you very much, Beast Mode. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no questions. So now, a few questions I want to go before I have a few questions from the chat. So in chat, if you have any questions, feel free to put it down. We'll get to you without a doubt. The crew, when you guys connect together, I'm pretty sure everybody has a wild story. I think out of everybody on the plane, who sees the wildest things on an aircraft? What position?
The flight attendants.
They do, right?
Absolutely. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. We get the backstory.
You know where I'm going with that, too.
Yeah, we get the backstory. We get oh my god, we had this passenger, this and this and this, or we have an issue now. Yeah, but yeah, the flight attendants hands down.
The flight attendant numero uno. Now, we were talking about the air traffic control. You know, have you ever heard of a story of a UFO from air traffic controller? Did you ever hear on the radio with something? I asked doing this also. There's something that was a little off. It wasn't a bird.
Mm-hmm. I have not. I have not had any UFO encounters or heard of any UFO stories or instances through air traffic control. But I will tell you this: we see some interesting things in the sky. I'll tell you this: there's been some times I'm like, "Whoa, did you see that?" So I don't know, like. Maybe there's UFOs out there. I don't really know. Maybe I don't know. I don't have a personal account of that.
Has to be.
But I will say, if you don't believe in like the solar system and planets and things like that, you crazy, because it exists. The stars, the moon, the planets, that is real. We see that stuff. We see shooting stars. It's beautiful. It's serene. So yeah, that for sure is a legit fact.
What have you seen? Or is it like that thing like you'll be home and you're like, okay, I know I didn't just see something, but whatever. Maybe I'm just hallucinating. Is it like that? Like
sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, yeah. So in particular, and that's what I enjoy most about the night flying in particular. Yeah, you'll see shooting stars. There's an app actually that you can have on your phone. That's if you point it up to the sky to show you like constellations, a big bright. You can see in particular just based off like the brightness of a particular star. You can like, okay, this is probably Jupiter, this is Mars, etc. and things like that. Yeah, so yeah, the things that we see in the sky is absolutely beautiful.
You just so there's been I don't assume the hell out of people. What is the highest level you've seen a bird?
Ooh, that's a good question. Maybe like 10,000, 8,000 feet. They don't come up all that high. They don't come. But I will tell you today, whoa, we almost hit a bird today.
What?
Yeah, and it's so crazy. Because we were coming in on an approach and literally like had to bank the aircraft to avoid the aircraft hitting or the birds hitting the windshield, because that's where they were headed. I mean, they were headed straight. So we were probably at maybe
a school of birds.
It was about 3 seagulls. We were Charleston. That's where we started this morning. Charleston. Yeah. About 3 seagulls today coming in on the approach into Charleston. So we had to be at maybe like 1,500 feet. So
that's low.
You know, not very high. And literally had to like bank the aircraft to avoid the birds, so that they wouldn't hit the windshield. Yeah, so they don't get very high, but you know, it's something that we do have to watch out for.
Well, is a bird clearly a bird is equivalent to a deer to a car, because I know that time that like I spoke to Dawn about where in New York here where the pilot landed the plane because all those birds were to fit the river.
Yeah, but you want to know what's crazy about that? I shout out to Zoe, but it's like, come on, man, why ain't you try to not hit the birds? You know, like today, like, come on, bro. You know, and maybe he was in a position where maybe he's just like, and sometimes you do have to make that decision, like, oh, there's nothing really we can do. We're too low. We're not baking. We're not doing it. You
gotta hit it.
Yeah, you just gotta go.
And you don't hear noise or nothing, right? You don't hear like nothing.
You might hear a bang.
Okay.
Yeah, but even so, if we have any type of like wildlife or wildlife hits to the airplane, we have to make sure that the airplane's inspected and things like that. But typically speaking, we don't have a lot of birds that hit the windshield. They're hitting the engine or maybe the side of the airplane.
That's the thing that's spinning.
Yeah. They're I don't know what it is. They're attracted to that, and
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So
the thing is, it's moving obviously about 1 million miles an hour. The turbine.
Yeah.
But clearly, if enough birds get in there, it could cause.
Oh, absolutely, substantial damage. Oh, absolutely, yeah. So yeah, we do our best to avoid those situations, but there's sometimes you just can't. You taking off and here they go. So in particular, some of the things that we try to do or ATC in particular, to go back into how they play into this as well. We mitigate bird strikes and things of that nature is they give us reports. So if I'm coming in like today, coming into Charleston, hey, air traffic, hey tower, we have a flock of birds just over the approach end of the runway, 500 feet. So that way we can give other pilots behind us that warning and that heads up. Yeah, things of that nature.
Y'all say those words. I know y'all codes be different. Y'all say those exact words because I know y'all language is different when y'all talking to the tower.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, flock of birds, 500 feet, 200 feet, flock of birds, departure into the runway. That's a verbiage we use. And then two, when we're checking the weather and there's been like bird activity, or places that we know there is a lot of bird activity, then air traffic control will issue that warning when they're giving us the weather, and we're getting that report too. So we know to kind of be vigilant and heads up for those, those warnings and things like that. So
now, when y'all landing, it's snowing. You're going to wherever and it happen to be snowing. Mm-hmm. How the hell does that plane land on the runway with snow? I never understood.
Yeah. So in particular, a jet aircraft has a system that it allows us to be able to stop. So we have multiple systems. We have what we call thrust reversers, which are on the engines, which basically take the backside of the engine cowling is what we consider it, where the jet blast will come out, and it brings out these like chambers type things that actually reverses the flow of the aircraft, that helps us to be able to stop, reverses the flow of the engine thrust that allows us to stop. We also have
that whole
thrust reversers. Yeah, so
that's the part.
That's your thrust reversers. So that allows us to stop. So that's a very important tool and helpful tool that we are able to utilize. We also have most aircraft have what we call ground spoilers, and spoilers are just what the name entails. They spoil the amount of lift that's generated on an aircraft, so that when you touch down, which has to have certain criteria, meaning when the wheels touch down to a certain speed, weight on wheels, things of that nature, this system deploys spoilers which lift up on the wings, stop airflow from coming in. That's also a stopping agent as well. So we have those tools that we use in the brake system as well, so that when we're landing on snow, ice, rain, it helps to get the aircraft stopped safely.
So there's no thing like the snow, the plane slide and all this.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The airplane can definitely slide. It definitely can slide. And that, again, that's an anomaly, because again, we have these things to help. But if you touch down too fast, if your ground spoiler system doesn't deploy in the right way, doesn't get the aircraft stopped. If you're too aggressive, you get down, and you're too aggressive, and you stomp on the brakes, it's just like skidding in the car. You might skid the wheels and think, skid the thing. So those things do happen, but we have these things on the aircraft to prevent that from happening. And then we have the training too to be able to land in these conditions. So
now they said every landing's different.
Oh, absolutely.
Every landing's different. So now what happens with you're like in traffic? There's no horn on the plane, right? So what happens if somebody's in front of you and they're like, "Yo, get the hell out the way, man! I'll move over. I'm trying to get." What do y'all do with that?
Yeah, so we're required to do what we call a go around.
Really?
So it's up to again. I keep telling you, like, there's so many pieces involved in aviation. So shout out to air traffic control. Air traffic control is in charge of the separation required for us to be able to land safely. So they make sure that we have adequate separation between aircraft landing and another aircraft landing, or aircraft landing, aircraft departing, etc. So that is their job, and they do a great job at that. But there are times where it gets close.
I give credit they deserve. You're right about that. That's why.
Absolutely absolutely. Shout out to them. They do a very good job at making sure that we have the required separation. But there are times when that separation gets tight. You got some person that lands and maybe you're going a little bit faster, and now they're taking a little bit too long to get off the runway. In that situation,
For
we're not
whatever
able to
reason,
land. So,
maybe.
yeah, we're not able to land, so we have to do what we call a go around. So we just pitch the airplane up, go around, and do it again.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
So go back around, and then
Yeah. Yep.
and that plane could be right there in that same spot.
Yep.
Go over.
Mm-hmm. That's
Oh,
right. Yep. Yep.
that's
Yeah. So in particular in the airline industry, well, not just airline industry, in general, when you're flying, you never want two aircraft on the runway at the same time. So
right.
yeah, an aircraft has to be clear and exited the runway for another aircraft to come in and land. And like I said, air traffic control is responsible for that separation. But when it gets close and that's not, they're not able to do that, have an aircraft cleared off before another one lands, then yeah, the aircraft that's coming in for landing has to go around and come back around and do it again. So
I can see
yeah.
you now. You're like, yo, what the? Hold on.
Man, there's been there's been some close calls, but again, like I said, I mean the joy about being airline pilots, we're trained for these scenarios. We're trained in particular, just to kind of get you in like the mindset of our job and some of the things that we have to do during a takeoff. We're trained to abort the takeoff under a certain speed if there are any issues that arise. So if there's anything that comes up, we're trained to abort the takeoff. If it happens above a certain speed, we're trained to go. So if we're in particular, if we're above what we call V1, which is our takeoff safety speed, if we're above that and our engine's on fire, we're going. We're taking off. We're taking off. We'll deal with the problem in the air. We'll come back and we'll land it safely. In particular for landing, we're coming in. And so the kind of perception and what I'm trying to relay is that on takeoff, we should always be prepared to abort. So just that's in your mind. We should be prepared for that. Yeah, we should be prepared for that. Same thing with landing. We should be prepared to go around if we need to. So those are just kind of like the mindsets that we have. And that's why they say that takeoff and landing are the most critical phases of flight, because they are. You have to be ready to react based upon the situation that's presented in front of you. And that's what our training truly entails and consists of. So,
but you can't do nothing. God forbid if you have a lunatic, that a guy or a female that jumped in the middle of the runway. It's like a train. You can't do anything about it. I mean,
no. If we're over a certain speed, we gotta go and bless his heart and hope we can get over them. And yeah.
Have you seen that before?
No, I haven't. Most of the time it's wildlife, coyotes, deer. It's been about 5 years ago now. Right. My company, we had an aircraft that hit a deer. I mean, smacked it. It was not good. But they were able to continue, the flight, came back in and landed, but they suffered, the aircraft had a lot of damage, substantial damage to it. So
now, what is your dream plane to fly?
Oh man, you know what? I love the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. What's crazy is the fact I told you 787 Dreamliner. So yeah, just put type Boeing B 787.
787.
787. Yep, 787. Yep. So what's crazy is I told you I was in Charleston today. That was my overnight last night. In Charleston, on the airport is actually the Boeing factory. And lined up there. I wish I would have taken a picture of it. They had aircraft from British Airways, from all these 787s like lined up. It was beautiful. Such a great aircraft. So yeah, that's what I hope to fly one day.
That is like, is it on the control level? Is that luxurious as well?
Oh, absolutely. That's top notch. That's top of the line. Top of the line. Not qualified to fly it, but that's just today. 10 years from now, definitely. Yeah, that's what we consider a heavy aircraft.
Plane, y'all. Just to let y'all understand, like, so this is the Rolls Royce of the planes or the Mercedes of the planes?
I guess it depends on your preference. It's definitely the Rolls
Rolls Royce,
Royce.
right?
Sorry.
Wow.
Yep. Couldn't
Wow.
get that out. But yeah, it's a beautiful aircraft.
You could fly this right now. You could get in this thing right now and throw this in the air.
With
Oh,
training, yes. No, am I qualified to fly on that?
oh,
No.
qualify, right? Okay. What's the
Yeah,
difference?
I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified, but hey, and that's what
Yeah.
that's kind of like the beauty of aviation is the fact that flying an airplane in itself, whether it's a small four-seater Cessna prop aircraft to a 787, the concept is the same. You have the same aerodynamic forces. You lift, you pull up, you pitch down, you bank left, you bank. The concept, the foundation is the same. It's just the techniques or the different types of engines or what type of engine that you're dealing with, whether it's a prop, a turboprop, a jet engine, and how the aircraft performs is where you get different experience on flying different aircraft and where you kind of make a transition in your career to be able to fly a different type of aircraft. But the concepts, the foundation is the same. So
I mean, this thing looks extremely, incredibly
it's
beautifully.
beautiful.
That is a gorgeous looking aircraft.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Look how this thing just sitting there. Damn, that's sexy.
Dope. Yeah.
I'm trying to hold back here. I'm really trying to hold back because seriously, so now, for the most part, you would know how to. You're not qualified per se, but you still would. You know to do a lot better with that than I would.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like I just said, the foundation is the same. But yeah, I am not what we call type rated. I do not have the type rating to be able to fly that aircraft. But yeah, I mean, like I said, same concept, same foundation, and soon, it won't be long. Soon.
Now, we have a thing too. Now, now the thing is, have you ever had your husband on the plane and your kids, and you fly the same plane?
No, I have not had that opportunity. I haven't. I know my girls, my girls. Shout out to my babies. They ask me all the time. Mom, we want to go fly with you. I just haven't had that opportunity to take them up. We've flown together, of course, as passengers, but no, I haven't, and I look forward to doing that one day. So I got to make that happen.
And it will.
Yeah.
What is this? Tell me this part here. What's going on here when you're in an aircraft here? What's going on here?
Yeah, so what it appears to be, the aircraft was taxiing out. This appears to be getting ready for takeoff. In particular, it's kind of going a little slow for takeoff. Maybe it just landed. Nope, takeoff. Yep. Okay. Yep. So in particular, this aircraft is taking off. So what am I doing? I'm pitching the aircraft up. I'm pulling the yoke back, lifting up into the sky. We have instruments in the flight deck.
Right.
We call it a primary flight display,
Right.
where we're looking to pitch the aircraft up in what we call our flight director. So it's like this like little triangle that we push the aircraft up into, and that gives us the correct pitch setting that we need to be able to lift off correctly. But yeah, that was a beautiful executed takeoff there, and that's a critical phase of flight, and most important phase of flight. So
y'all got to get this thing out. Hey, y'all be thinking, man, y'all got to know that these sisters is out here doing what they do.
Here.
And this is, I mean, the fact that you go to work and this is what you literally have to put. You can see all these people. Okay, so this, as we see, that clearly is a very popular plane.
Oh, absolutely.
Like a Boeing 787. I believe that's like, if anybody knows a plane that knows no plane, that's the first name they're gonna actually identify with.
Yeah.
Why is it such a popular plane and so exclusive?
Oh, well, in particular, it's one of the biggest planes that we have in production. I'm not sure the total amount of passengers. I would say probably 300 or more.
Dang.
But it's a very modern aircraft in regards to the avionics, the systems on the aircraft, the engines, and just the capacity of it. So this airplane in particular, the 787, is called the Dreamliner. Is used in particular for international flights because it has the capability of making long haul flights across the country. But it's one of the most modern aircraft that we have that has the capacity to carry tons of people, tons of cargo. In particular, this aircraft, I believe it's the 787, it might be called a Guppy. But it can, you were talking about aircraft, can the aircraft carry cars? Yeah. I mean, this, you take the seats out.
Cool.
Yeah, you take the seats out, they carry aircraft parts, wings, etc. Fly them internationally to, be built in production and things of that nature. So yeah, this that's just a beautiful airplane, and yeah, I hope to fly it one day.
Now, this is okay. So you would be in the other side,
That's
adjacent.
correct. Yeah, yeah. The one that where your pointer's at is where the captain sits, and I sit on the other side.
Okay, so you sit. The first officer sits on the other side. And you sit here with the captain sits here.
Captain sits there, correct.
Is these windows obviously about 15 inches thick?
Oh yeah, they are thick. And that's for our safety again. Hail, rain, thunderstorms, lightning, birds, things of that nature. Yeah, that protects us.
Or anybody that doesn't like planes.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, did they teach that in training that that's a possibility? I know in the locomotives with the trains, those windows are bulletproof because people throwing shopping carts off of bridges and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and
no.
the train because if the trains are making loud, a horn, a lot of people like to shoot at the train later.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that's like part of our training. But we do have security training that consists of our protections and things of that nature.
She can't get that, ladies and gentlemen, after 9/11. She's
absolutely.
Let's let it be known. If you go up in that damn pilot and that cockpit, you be looking like this cheese and this shit.
Yeah, not cool. Yeah, you asking for trouble. Absolutely. But yeah, I think mostly those the glass is there for us to be able to fly through different weather elements and things like that. So that protection is mostly there for that.
Now, behind here, you would not suggest anybody once you're about to take off because this turbulence now of that air could knock a person literally to the kingdom come.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the thrust from the engine is definitely something that you have to be careful with. Even like during like our pushback procedures, when we're pushing back from the gate, we have to have clearance to be able to start the aircraft because we don't want to start an aircraft and there be other ramp crew behind us, another airplane. Yeah, because that thrust is it's dangerous. You can definitely damage something or hurt someone. So yeah, definitely don't want to be behind a jet engine.
Does it matter if you guys have white top on the runway or black top? Does it matter?
No.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
No.
Now some of them are they do have like a warm thing going on there, like they're heated, right? Some of them are heated, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Some runways do have that capability. In particular, this looks like looks kind of I don't know where this is at actually. It might be in Seattle. Not quite sure.
I'm looking at the people. I don't know if this is in a different.
It wouldn't surprise me if this is in Seattle. But yeah, I mean, we have airline markings on our runways and taxiways that help designate where we need to be. As you can see right here, the runway numbers, they're painted a certain color. They're designated a certain color so that we can see them at night or in weather conditions and such things like that. So you see the yellow there.
Like this is like a double wide right here?
So that's a taxi line. So that's designated by yellow. Usually your runway numbers are black and white. You have signage that designates which runway you're going to. Those are red directional signs. Yeah, so there's a whole like there's like a whole course on aircraft signage and airport signage that we are required to know as pilots, and that just helps us to be able to navigate around the aircraft.
They don't know how this. I'm about to show this cockpit in a minute because are you allowed to break down what controls are which?
Yeah, I can tell you. I can tell you. And again, so I'm not familiar with this aircraft, but
We're gonna go to
I can talk about.
fly. What is the
talk about the
name?
basic one? The CRJ 900.
CR.
Yeah, you type in CRJ 900. Yeah, cockpit or flight deck is
Now you guys call. Okay, so
and then try to see if you can get like the image. Go to like the image panel.
Panel.
So if you can type in, so if you can look under, like, instead of pulling the videos, try to pull the images.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That probably be a little. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so CRJ.
There you go. Yeah, perfect. That's my baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. What the hell? Like, hold on. Is this a good one, or you want to make another one?
And you know what's crazy is people see this and like, whoa. But if you, I'm sure you can find this, but it's a little bit more detailed. We have an overhead panel of a whole bunch of buttons and things of that nature. So this is like the basics of the tools that we need to operate the aircraft. So as you can see here, the two white things in the middle of the aircraft, those are our thrust levers. So that controls the power. As you can see, we have yoke on both sides of the aircraft for the captain and first officer. So those are the black Y looking things or U looking things.
Right.
That is our yoke. Let's see, all of these screens here are where we get the information that we need to fly. So if you start the far left, that first screen there is what we call a primary flight display. So that pretty much entails the things that we need to be able to fly the aircraft. So relating to pitch, power. So that encompasses what altitude they're at, what speed that we're at, if we're banking, if we're level, if we're pitched up or pitched down. So that is what we call a primary flight display.
These two here are the same as the two over here?
So the one on the far left and the one on the far right are the same. Yes,
okay.
That's correct. That's correct. So that's what we call our PFD, our primary flight display, and that has our instruments that we need to fly the aircraft. Right next to that, again, it's the same on both sides. Right next to the PFD is what we call our MFD, multifunction display. So that's like a moving map. So we can see the different waypoints that we're flying to in the sky. And that pretty much it kind of like draws our flight plan, and we can see point to point to point where we're flying. And it's just a moving map that also encompasses fuel numbers and things of that nature on there. So when we say it's a multi-function flight display, it encompasses a lot of different things, but that is a essential tool for us. In the middle.
Keep talking. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. In the middle, we have what we call our electronic data display. So ED1, ED2, and those are controlling, or those tell us things about our engine. Our power settings, how much fuel we're burning per hour. If we have any type of issues that come up with the aircraft, it alerts us on these panels here, and then we're able to see like the different systems of our aircraft. So like the hydraulic system, we can see, if we have the correct amount of hydraulic fluid. We can see if we have the correct amount of fuel. It will be on the right side, the second one. Yeah. So that's information relating to like the systems of the aircraft, hydraulic system, air conditioning
And the
system.
captain, clearly.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, and then again, like I said, so it's a redundant system. Has the same thing on my side. And then right below that, if you see that kind of like it looks like a little circle, a white circle handle. No, go back in the middle, directly in the middle. Yep, that's our gear. That's our gear handle. So we're pulling our gear up and down.
That's
So
the
that's swing.
wait. That's the gears in the sky or the gears when you're on the ground?
Both. I mean, so that controls, so that lifts the gear up in the sky and it puts it down right before we land. So yeah, you can't move it. Yeah, when you're on the ground, it's locked. You can't move it.
Now who's touching that? Both of you?
Usually the person that is not flying is who controls the gear. So if I'm flying, then my captain is pulling the gear for me. If he's flying, then I'm pulling the gear for him.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically how it works is that you have what we call a person that is flying, the pilot flying, and you have the person that's pilot monitoring. If you are not flying, you're responsible for talking on the radios to air traffic control. You're responsible for programming. You will see.
Real co-pilot.
Yeah, you're responsible for programming. Things in the what we call flight management system.
Right.
And things of that nature. You are truly allowing the pilot that's flying to have all of their focus on flying. That's their goal. I mean, that's their mission, to fly the airplane, be focused.
A lot of trust there. A lot of trust.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And then vice versa. So then when that usually a lot of times we alternate legs. So if I'm flying a leg or two, then next go around they'll fly. So yeah, we get to alternate roles. So you're not talking on the radio all day. You're not flying all day. So yeah, but yeah, that's
and nobody is listening to no classic R&B or nothing.
If I tell you, I might have to, No, absolutely. I mean, we have some long flights. In particular, right. My headset has Bluetooth, and if it's, we done talking and chatting, I throw on my tunes every now and then. Okay. But in particular, in the flight deck, we're not really allowed to listen to music or not. It has to be company related material if we want to read and things of that nature. But yeah, so not saying it doesn't happen. It does, but generally speaking, when we're up there, it should be primarily about.
Now, what
about the flights?
Hey, you want to take a nap? You know what I'm saying? What do y'all do? You tired? That you just got to deal with that?
Yeah. In particular, like I stated, so I have an early show, so I'm getting ready to call it a night here pretty soon.
Yes.
But yeah, I have to make sure that I have an adequate amount of rest so that I am not there, tired and sleepy. I'm not gonna say, head might not bobble a couple times and things like that. Especially if a long
flight. Picture, ladies and gentlemen. It's a clearer picture.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great picture. But yeah, no, it's our responsibility to make sure that we are properly rested, so that we can perform the duties that we need to perform. So we do that, and then that's why I think pilots drink a lot of coffee too. We gotta do what we need to do to stay up. So we do that, and so no real big issues there.
Now, we was told, these are the myths, and I want to address this, ladies and gentlemen. Literally, we're closing out of here at 9:00. She got to be doing this tomorrow in a few hours. So I'll let y'all know. But she'll be back. You will be back, right, Dominique? You will be back, right?
I will. Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, beautiful. This is the myth that we were getting, and I always ask this. Even I asked during this, I always ask, does a plane fly itself? Because we're under the notion that all this means that the plane goes on autopilot and we can sit back, take a nap, and then watch YouTube. Is this true or false?
It's true to a degree. Yes, right. The aircraft has the ability to fly itself under the direction of the autopilot. But, and that's a big but, We are there to monitor the automation. We have to be there to be that first line of defense, just in case the automation does not do what it's supposed to do. In particular, on my aircraft, we don't have what we call auto throttles. There are a lot of aircraft that have auto throttles, meaning that you don't have to manually control the throttles. In my aircraft, you do have to manually control the throttles. So if the airplane needs more thrust to climb, we have to put it there. As opposed to some other airplanes that are, yeah, that are more automated, they can do that themselves. So yeah, we are there to monitor the automation. And I should say that just because the autopilot is controlling the airplane doesn't mean you can sit back and truly trust the autopilot, because it is a computer. So the things that you put in, things you're gonna get out. So there's this saying in aviation: shit in, shit out. You put in bad information. I put the wrong altitude in. Well, the plane only knows that it's going to that altitude. Oh, I wasn't supposed to be at that altitude. I need to be at this. So we have to monitor that automation. So I say that yes and no. We do have to monitor the automation, but yeah, when we use autopilot, it's great. But yeah, we have to definitely have to watch it.
It's amazing how we have all these different things because we always compare a nice car to a cockpit of a plane.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And another thing too, when you're in the sky, how do you just turn the plane to the left and the right? These things you put your hands on?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you that's your control yoke there. And yeah, if you want to go left, you bank it, literally bank it to the left. You want to go right, you turn it to the right. Yeah, you want to go up, you pull it back. You want to go down, you push it forward. So yeah, that's our control yoke, and that controls the pitch, what we call pitch, up and down, or the roll, left or right of the aircraft.
Where's the
Yeah.
camera to see the aircraft? Like to see the back, the people in the back. Do you have cameras on the outside of the plane, or just can you see like the passengers?
No, we can't. We do not have cameras outside the aircraft, on the back of the aircraft. We can't see the passengers. No, we don't have any of that capability. That's why it's important, especially during what we consider pushback. That's why it's important to trust our ramp control, our ramp guys, to push us back, because there are eyes for us outside the aircraft. So yeah, we have to trust them that they're not going to push us into another aircraft or to someone else. But yeah, unfortunately, no, we can't see behind us.
And this right here, there's nothing here that you don't know. It's like everything here is just, you see this all the time. So it's like, it's second nature.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're required to know every button in the aircraft. We need to know that when I push this button, what happens. I'm throwing my boost pumps on to engage fuel flow to start the engine. When I push this button, I am sending I'm shutting down a system so that we can prevent a fire. Yeah, absolutely. We have to know what every button does, how it relates, what we call it system knowledge, how it relates to what it is that we're trying to fix or we're trying to do. Yeah, so it's absolutely important to know those things, and that's why airline training is so rigorous, and that you have to know that information.
What is the best school you would recommend for people? Because there's a lot of people out here that's in careers and they're just not really sure about, hey, they want to do a lot of other things in their lives and they may have not found something challenging or fun. You said a great term before we started, and I want you to tell them what you said. If you don't like the job if you're not happy with the job that you're doing or the excitement, basically you're at the wrong job. Do you feel this mode where you go through stress and you go in the sky and say, wow, I need to fly today. You're like, I can't wait to get to work and get up in that sky. Do you feel that?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I should say this. In particular, like this trip, like I was telling you, there is glorious parts of this job. And again, like I said, if you're not excited to show up and do this and love what you do, What are you doing it for? There are absolutely glorious parts of this job. Being able to get people from point A to point B safely, getting them home to loved ones, taking them on vacations. That is absolutely great. Um, Flying, the views, the going to different places. But on the flip side, and like I was telling you, my schedule this trip in particular, I'm up at the crack of dawn. I'm up when it's still dark. I'm like, it's criminal to be up this early, you know. But you know, today my motto is, you know, I'm making money while you're sleeping. You know, like that's I'm up.
Yes.
I'm up. Yeah, you know, I'm up getting ready for these flights. It takes a toll. I mean, it takes a toll on you. It can be tiring. It can be hard. But it's also rewarding as well. So
being a parent as well, having a family.
yeah. And then just like I said, just be in this career. And then too, the kind of flip side too is like, okay, yeah, I'm starting early in the morning, but I was done by 11, 12. I was done by your lunchtime. You know, so
Like
my
from a
day was done.
early morning to get finished for the day.
Done.
I'm
done. You know, it doesn't make for a long day. Doesn't make for to be long and hard. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, there I do. Every time I get the opportunity, I fly. When I'm at home, I enjoy my time off. I do enjoy being at home. But yeah, when it's time to fly, I'm ready to fly. Yes, I am fairly new to this industry, meaning that I've only been an airline pilot for 3 years. I'm sure.
That's why we want. Did y'all hear what she said? She's been an airline pilot for 3 years. So this inspiration is something that you should really embrace, because we have Dawn that said 15 years or 20 years.
Yeah.
So we want you to have the different dialects of every woman here that I introduce to you has a whole different situation. So that's encouraging. All right, so
I was just about to speak to that. Absolutely. So my experience in 10 years and how I feel about it may be different. I may say, okay, you look, you know, for the past, you know, I'm 20 years in my career. For 10 years that I did international, and that's no longer for me. It takes a toll on my body. I don't like to do this type of. So yeah, in my phase of my career, in this early part, yes, the joy is still there, the excitement is still there. Do I get tired? Is it like, oh, okay, here we go again, back on the road? Yes, there are moments of that.
Even with this, wow.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because you got to think about it. I'm on the road for 3 to 4 days, off 3 to 4 days, back again, living in suitcase, hotel to hotel. That lifestyle can get tiring, can get mundane. But it doesn't take away from the joy of the job. I say that. So I'll just say that there are two sides of that. There's the glamour of the job, and there's the truth and the reality of the job as well.
Yeah, you rub elbows with doctors and lawyers because, hey, I fly commercial jet. Oh. Wow. That's impressive. Oh, I think she's freezing.
Yeah, so I didn't catch you. It was kind of cutting out a little bit, but I was just gonna say it balances itself. It balances itself out. So you know, again, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I do love what I do. I'm sure that I'll love what I do for another 20 years from now. But I just like to be truthful that, you know, there is two sides of this profession, and it's great.
Because you do medicine, right? You were in medicine before.
Say that again.
Was you in medicine before? It said an article that I read about you that you was working in a hospital or something like that.
No, I used to work in insurance. Yeah, insurance. Yeah, no, my background is primarily in flight education. I spent a lot of time at collegiate universities and things like that teaching. But yeah, at one point, I was working in medical insurance, and I was like, this ain't it. Especially after graduating with a flight degree. I was like,
you see planes in the sky and be like, what? Hold on,
I was like, nah, that's supposed to be me. I just got a flight degree. It's time to make some moves. But yeah, you know, it worked. It worked out. Like I said, I truly enjoy what I do, and thankful for the opportunity every day.
And that should be a lot of encouragement for people to realize black man, black woman, white man, white woman. You know, unfortunately, there's a small amount of us in here. Do you know the percentage? 0.5%.
Yep. Black women are. Yep. Yep. Black women are half of the 1% of total women in the industry. So women and as a whole only represent about 1% of the industry, and black women make up half of that.
And what is the
Half of
old?
that 1%.
She's about to leave out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I just gotta. She knows I'm excited because
Yeah. We can. I wish that we could talk long. And again, I will come. I'm telling you,
she
I will
gotta come back. We gotta
Yeah.
come back. What Conan Jones wants to say? She said someone said to me in the cockpit that they have never flown with a black pilot before. They were both white men in their 60s.
Yeah, I can believe it. Yeah. Yeah, I can believe it, and especially the mandatory retirement age is 65. So if they're in their 60s, I can definitely believe that that's a true statement and that they've never experienced that. Because, like I said, we're just now really making an impact in the industry over the last, you know, 10, 15, 20 years. So yeah, I can believe that, and we're looking to change that, and I'm glad to be a part of that increasing number.
Well, she's part of the movement already. She's part of my movement called Boss Up. So just understand this is for male and female. Yes, the fellas is Boss Up, Man Up, but for the ladies is Boss Up because she just let you clearly know she could do it. You can do it. And
that's right.
It's living proof. Last but not least, hold on, very educational. I barely received live Black channel notifications for Black YouTube channels. I did hear that, but we're working on that as well.
That's right.
You know, I mean, if I had some drama here, the shit would have been all in the algorithm. But
if you was talking about Derek Jackson,
I was about to say that. But Derek Jackson, that shit would have. But hey, it's a work in progress. But we do know this is all our preparation because, like I said, I'm trying to produce something really unique. I need to be quiet about that. But anyway, I'm trying to produce something really unique, and this sister here is going to definitely be part of that because she's freaking dope, amazing. I think the last thing I wanted to say. So, what is the oldest age? This is really what people really want to know. What is the oldest age maximum that they could get into the aviation program, go to school, and say, I want to change my life and get involved?
Any age. I mean, any age. It's just professionally, as a commercial pilot, you're limited to 65 years old to be able to operate, airliner commercially. But I believe, I think I read an article maybe not too long ago. There was like 75-year-old woman fly. And so yeah, she's flying. Yeah, absolutely. It's all about if you have the mental capability to do it and physical capability. You got to be able to respond to controls, be able to react in emergencies. So if you have that mental capability, physical capability, there's no age limit that says that you can't learn how to fly at that age. Now, like I said, where your trajectory, how far you can take that, whether that be beyond the private pilot level or commercial, that can be a limiting factor based on age. But you're never too old to learn how to fly.
And I mean, what do they just? How would they start? Basically, would it be a school? Would you recommend, or there's no particular? You don't want to be biased to it. What would you recommend? Like, listen, I want to start. How do I start doing this?
Yeah, so definitely don't want to be biased. I went to a collegiate flight program. Shout out to my university, Purdue University, in West Lafayette, Indiana.
I read
we are,
you say it.
Yeah, we are a collegiate flight training program in no lie, the best in the nation. I couldn't pick a better flight school. But I would say, in general, for someone wanting to start out or just, hey, am I gonna like this? Go to your local airport. Every local airport has an opportunity to take an instructor up, rent a plane for an hour. We call those discovery flights, just to get your feet wet and to be able to go up and see if you like it. So if that is truly what you want to do, go with a flight instructor.
Discovery flight?
Every local airport. You can go to Timbuktu, and I guarantee you there's a plane and an instructor where you can go up and take a flight lesson for an hour. They call those discovery flights.
Really?
So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So I tell people. Yeah, I tell people all the time, you want to have opportunity to fly or try it out, go to your local airport, ask to take a discovery flight. They'll put you up with an instructor, rent an aircraft, and you go and take that flight. So yeah, I would say start there, and then from there, as you get serious, and if you want to really pursue a flight training program, then yeah, there are different schools, universities, different tracks, and specifically, that's kind of a lengthy conversation. So we definitely make sure next time around we talk about that. But yeah, there are different avenues,
Yeah.
military, et cetera, that you can achieve to get your flight training.
I was trying to keep the 2 hour mark. It's
Yeah,
1:53. Somebody said, "Is it true that pilots are underpaid?" That's definitely false. I mean,
that's false.
that's false.
I don't know. I kind of agree with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I thought there was.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Get out of
Um,
here.
yeah. Okay. So here's again myth, right? Here's the myth. Pilots are paid well years down the line. The return on investment is years later. Okay.
Captain staff.
15. Not just captain status.
Oh,
Captain status, yes, absolutely. But not just captain status. But where are you at? Are you at a regional airline? Are you at a major airline? Are you flying cargo, etc.? Military. You have to understand, or people have to understand that yes, we pay a lot of money to go through flight training. So we come out initially with a lot of debt. So the money that we start to make, we're paying debt. Families, etc., etc., etc. Is it a livable wage now? It's getting to be, and yes, it definitely has increased over the years. When I first got into the industry, which is one of the reasons why I didn't want to be an airline pilot, they were only getting paid about $20 an hour to do.
what?
Yeah, $20 an hour. There's people that have been in this industry that literally started out with $20, 19, 18, $20 an hour to fly, turboprops or small jet aircraft. Yeah, yeah. So
Recently, in recent years,
no, and I'm saying like maybe past 15 years.
that's
So
still
over the past,
low. Though.
I mean, it's pretty recent, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So now, yes, the pay is getting a little bit bearable. But as far as I wouldn't use the term we're underpaid. We are paid well, but it takes a while to see the return on investment. That's the better way to put it. So starting out, first officers, first year at the airlines, maybe 35, 40,000. As you continue to progress, you're increasing your earning potential. So now you're starting to make 70, 80,000. By the time you get to a major airline, you're making 90 to 100,000, upwards to $300,000 a year. But that takes time, and that's what people fail to realize. So,
a major airline, like we just think
oh
all
yeah,
airlines are
yeah.
major.
So I'm sorry, I didn't. Yeah, I should specify that. So a major airline would be Delta Airlines, United Airlines, American Airlines. So those are
Major.
um, your major airlines. But also, when you think of major airlines, you're also um, talking specifically about uh, the pilots that fly the bigger aircraft. So now you're flying, 150 or more passengers. So your bigger aircraft, not the regional aircraft that fly, in my particular case, that fly, 7 6-seaters, smaller routes, etc., etc.
Right.
So
This plane's smaller than yours. There was like a shuttle plane, right?
say that again.
This plane's smaller than yours. It's called like a shuttle plane, right? It's like something that goes from one side of North Carolina to another, like Greensboro, flies
Yeah,
to.
yeah. I mean, it's the same plane. It's the same plane. It's just what we call shuttle routes. Yeah. So our routes are shuttle routes. Yeah. So our routes are smaller or shorter. Like for instance, our maximum flight might be 3 hours.
Okay.
As opposed to some of the bigger aircraft that can fly 5-6 hours and things like that. And it's just all based upon the capacity of the aircraft, how far it can fly, based off how big it is. So that's it. But so I mean I love, that's a great question, because people look at me and are like, oh, you balling, you make it. No, I'm making decent money. my bills. I'm blessed. My bills are paid. My family's taken care of. Yes, yeah, I do. I make decent money, but am I rich? Am I balling? No. Will I get there? Yes.
Wow.
Eventually.
So if you fly into Brazil, you obviously
Yeah.
working for a major airline at that point.
Absolutely.
That's a whole different animal right there when they flying 13 hours and all that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And because we have a limit in how long we can fly anyway. But yeah, so yeah, if you fly into Brazil, you really only flying like maybe 4 of those hours, and they have what we call a relief crew. So they have another crew that comes in and takes over and things of that nature.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dominique has to go, but listen, man, y'all kill me with questions. How was your first flight experience? Quickly, just answer that. How was it? Quick.
It was great. Like I shared before, it's what sealed the deal. It's definitely what got me here today. I loved it. I love being in control of the aircraft, and it's a memory I'll never forget.
This individual wants to know. Can you read that one?
Do we suffer from airplane ear? So we're talking about the pressure in the aircraft. Yeah, I mean, but we're used to it. Something our bodies are used to and our ears are used to. So yeah, really, only time that can be a factor is if you have like a busted eardrum, and we don't fly with sinus infections because that can be really bad. Do I prefer the yoke of the Boeing? I don't fly the Boeing or the Airbus yet. But airplane is airplane. Whatever's gonna get me paid, take care of my family, have a good quality of life. I'm with it. I'm not picky.
Well, don't try. The thing is too with you guys get accommodations, of course, when you go to hotels, clearly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
they all understand that. I mean, you guys get the little salute and everything when they see you walk in and all that.
Oh yeah, most of the time, yeah. Oh, we the hotels they take really good care of us and our crews, and yeah, we get special floors so that way they limit distractions and people interrupting rest and things like that. So yeah, they take good care of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate everybody. This has been Earl Lewis said great show, Nate and Dominique. Earl Lewis said, Dominique, thank you for your insight in the aviation industry. Has been the most interesting from your perspective. She's super dope. Again, y'all just seen a preview. But yeah, 40-hour time flies, right? 2 hours.
That's right. Absolutely.
Gentlemen, I will be back probably later, but I have to talk to her behind the scenes. But we appreciate you. There's nothing people could even think of about 1,000 of different questions.
Yeah.
Do you understand? She can't say the company that she works for. They never can. So we need to keep that more low key and at least not on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
We appreciate you so much. She's a powerful sister. She's about her game, and she does what she does, and it was amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will be back, and I'll just talk to her, and I'll talk to y'all a little bit, and she will be back. Much love to y'all.
Thank y'all for the opportunity.
It's going to be a podcast. So people if you guys are doing jobs that you can't necessarily watch the YouTube, I'm going to have this on my podcast tomorrow. So it'll be on iHeartRadio. It'll be on SoundCloud. It'll be on Apple Music. So it's going to be dope.
Love it.
Peace, y'all.